There comes a moment in a woman's life when she realizes she was never walking alone. Not in the darkest nights. Not through the heartbreak. Not through the fear, the disappointment, the rejection, or the silence. There were always unseen hands guiding her, unseen strength carrying her, and unseen light protecting her when she could no longer protect herself. People may call them angels. Some call it faith. Some call it destiny. But every strong woman knows there were moments she should have broken, and somehow, she survived anyway. There were nights she cried herself to sleep while still pretending to be strong for everyone else. She smiled in public while privately fighting battles nobody knew existed. She gave love when she felt empty. She carried responsibilities while carrying pain. She stood tall while her soul felt tired. And yet she kept moving. Not because life was easy, but because something inside her refused to quit. A powerful woman is not created in comfort. She is created in storms. She is shaped in moments where she must choose between giving up or becoming stronger. And every scar she carries tells the story of a battle she refused to lose. The world often sees confident women and assumes they were born fearless. But confidence is usually built from surviving what was meant to destroy you. Real strength comes from being underestimated, ignored, betrayed, and still choosing kindness instead of bitterness. A woman surrounded by angels is not a woman without pain. She is a woman who keeps finding light even when darkness surrounds her. She walks through chaos with grace because she knows something greater walks beside her. There were people who doubted her. People who laughed at her dreams. People who only saw her weaknesses. But what they failed to understand is that strong women grow in silence. While the world is distracted, she is rebuilding herself. While others are complaining, she is healing. While people judge her journey, she is becoming the person she was always meant to be. Sometimes the angels around her appear as strangers. A kind word from someone at the perfect moment. A closed door that secretly protected her. A delay that saved her from disaster. A painful ending that made room for a better beginning. Not every blessing arrives wrapped in comfort. Some blessings arrive disguised as heartbreak. Some miracles look like painful goodbyes. Some protection feels like rejection in the moment. And years later, she finally understands why certain things had to fall apart. Because her destiny required growth. Because her future required strength. Because the woman she was becoming could not stay trapped in the life she had outgrown. The strongest women are often the ones who spent years doubting themselves. They know what it feels like to feel invisible. They know what it feels like to love deeply and still feel alone. They know the pain of giving their best to people who never appreciated it. But instead of allowing pain to harden them, they allow it to awaken them. That is power, not revenge, not arrogance, not proving people wrong. True power is becoming whole again after life tried to break your spirit. There is something extraordinary about a woman who learns how to save herself emotionally. A woman who stops begging for validation. A woman who no longer needs applause to believe in her worth. A woman who realizes her value was never determined by who stayed or who left. The moment a woman understands her worth, everything changes. She stops chasing people who drain her energy. She stops shrinking herself to make others comfortable. She stops apologizing for having standards. She stops abandoning herself just to keep others happy. And suddenly, the same woman who once questioned everything about herself begins to walk differently, speak differently, carry herself differently. Because peace changes people, healing changes people, self-respect changes people. There are women listening right now who have survived things they never talk about. Battles nobody saw, losses nobody fully understood, moments where they felt abandoned by the world. But look at you, you're still here, still breathing, still trying, still becoming. That alone is proof that something greater has been protecting you this entire time. You may not see the angels around you physically, but you have felt them. You felt them when strength appeared out of nowhere during your weakest moment. You felt them when your heart warned you to walk away from something toxic. You felt them when you survived situations that should have destroyed your peace. You felt them every time life whispered, "Keep going." Some women spend their lives waiting for someone else to rescue them. But powerful women eventually discover that the greatest transformation begins the moment they rescue themselves. Not because they stop believing in love, but because they stop abandoning themselves in the process of loving others. A healed woman becomes dangerous to negativity. She no longer tolerates manipulation. She no longer confuses attention with respect. She no longer mistakes temporary excitement for genuine connection. She becomes calmer, wiser, more intentional, and there is nothing more powerful than a woman who finally understands the strength of her own soul. The world desperately needs women who believe in themselves again. Women who rise after failure. Women who keep loving despite disappointment. Women who remain compassionate in a cruel world. Women who inspire others simply by refusing to give up. Because every woman who heals herself silently gives permission for another woman to heal too. That is how light spreads. That is how strength multiplies. One brave woman at a time. Never underestimate the quiet battles people are fighting. Some women are carrying entire families emotionally while nobody checks on them. Some are smiling through anxiety. Some are grieving privately. Some are rebuilding their confidence after years of emotional damage. And still they show up every day. Still they work. Still they care. Still they love. That kind of strength deserves respect. The truth is, many women were taught to doubt themselves from a young age. Taught to stay quiet. Taught to settle. Taught to accept less than they deserve. But something powerful happens when a woman finally wakes up to her own potential. She stops asking for permission to become who she was born to be. She starts protecting her energy. She starts trusting her intuition. She starts choosing peace over chaos. And little by little, her entire life begins to change. Not overnight, but steadily, powerfully, beautifully. A woman surrounded by angels understands that every challenge carries a lesson. Every heartbreak carries wisdom. Every painful season carries growth. Even the storms had purpose. Especially the storms. Because storms reveal what is real. Storms reveal who truly stands beside you. Storms reveal how strong you actually are. And after surviving enough storms, a woman no longer fears the rain. She becomes it. There are people who will never understand your journey because they never saw the nights you almost gave up. They only see the strength now. They only see the confidence now. They only see the success now. But they did not see the tears, the loneliness, the rebuilding, or the prayers whispered in silence. Strong women are not lucky. They are resilient. Every setback taught them something. Every betrayal sharpened their wisdom. Every painful goodbye pushed them closer to themselves. And eventually they stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, they begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" That question changes everything, because growth begins when blame ends. And powerful women understand that healing is not about pretending nothing hurt. Healing is about refusing to let pain define your future. You are not your worst mistake. You are not your heartbreak. You are not the opinions people formed about you during your weakest season. You are who you choose to become next. And maybe today is the day you finally remember your strength. Maybe today is the day you stop speaking to yourself with cruelty. Maybe today is the day you realize you deserve the same love you keep giving everyone else. The angels surrounding you were never there to make your life perfect. They were there to remind you that you are stronger than you think. That you are guided, protected, worthy, capable, and deeply valuable, even in moments where you feel lost. Even in moments where you feel unseen. Even in moments where the world feels heavy. Do not underestimate the power of a woman who has survived emotional storms and still chooses to believe in hope. That woman becomes unstoppable, because once a woman learns how to stand alone, trust herself, protect her peace, and honor her worth, she no longer fears losing people who cannot see her value. She walks forward differently, with wisdom in her mind, peace in her heart, fire in her spirit, and grace in her soul. And every step she takes becomes proof that darkness never had the final word over her life.